Hi, and welcome to Undoomed, a channel dedicated to exposing stupidity everywhere. So, let me ask you this. Whatever happened to this crazy feminist to make her absolutely insane? That's right, folks. Just when you thought you'd read the craziest text possible from a feminist, a new one pops up. Today we're going to be dealing with a blog named Radical Resolution and a blog entry that she has named Self-Evident. Oh dear, here we go again. So I guess we have no choice but to delve right into the batshit crazy stuff. When time and time again women, young and old, have come forward to say that they have found truth in the words of radical feminists who have spoken of the inherent violence of sex, and you'll notice how she's put quotation marks around sex. And she's done this because who the fuck knows? The domination and control that the violence of penis in vagina visits not only upon their bodies, but their psyches. At this point in time, I think it would probably be a good idea to point out that according to this little munchkin, sex is always rape. Well, at least for the woman. That they come out to say that they've always doubted their own instincts, that they thought there was something wrong with them until they found other women who know and share logically and without compunction the same experience. There is evidence of truth. First of all, let me just congratulate you on your inability to use punctuation and thus creating the longest and most incomprehensible sentence of all time. And secondly, the fact that you put the word logically in the same sentence as the inherent violence of sex, well, that just goes to show that for you, logic equals no logic. But let's move on, shall we? Truth is simple and easily stands by itself unless there are forces acting against it to muddy it up, to change the definition. Well, I find it almost ironic that you'd bring that up. Changing the definition of things seems to be what you feminists do best. In this case, the radical feminist truth regarding the very basis of female oppression by men via a global culture of penis in vagina defined as sex and the erasure of its violence to the female body has long been considered tantamount to treason. Wow, that's a new one. I mean, we've all heard of rape culture, but penis in vagina culture? Okay, that's new. And secondly, where in the world is it considered treason to have an opinion? What do you live in, Saudi Arabia? No, you don't. Now, of course, expressing the opinion you are currently expressing will be frowned upon, but that's because it's insane. Yet there remain women and men who do not embrace this evident truth, who continue to take on the guise of radical feminist. Well, hallelujah, even in the most insane of movements, apparently there are people who are less insane. Radical feminism has been muddied and redefined to mean anything other than men's domination of women based on sex. Well, God forbid feminism should be about anything other than vilifying men for having a sex drive. Radical feminism has been, again, reduced to very little more than saying the vast majority of rape, non-consensual sex, is perpetrated by men and that men, or more commonly people, are failing to do enough to stop it. Radical feminism in the hands of liberal progressive female mainstream is nothing but simple reformism, believing that men will somehow change their ways. So basically what you're saying is that feminism preaches original sin, and the original sin in question being born male. In the hands of the liberal, progressive, radical feminist men, it's sex positivity coupled with gender equality. For fuck's sakes, you guys! I thought you wanted gender equality, so why are you using it like a bad word? And reformism would be laudable if the goal was to eradicate penis in vagina defined as sex. Jesus Christ, you fucking moron! Less than 2 paragraphs ago you were bitching about some people redefining the term radical feminist, and now you want to go redefining words? Really? Now you want to redefine words? I'm going to ask you to go and look up the following quotes. War is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength. Now, if you don't know these quotes off the top of your head, even though you should, by looking these quotes up, you'll find why redefining words is a bad thing. That no woman or girl would ever be in any way prone to believing that she was supposed to engage in any thought or action related to male-defined sexuality. That no woman or girl would ever be subjected to any thought or action based on sex. And there you have it, folks. Thought crime. Bring in the thought police. We are going back to the future, 1984 style. Even the retard who wrote this blog should understand by now why I brought up those quotes before. Reform is based in believing that the current global structures can be modified and that based on those modifications we then have more choices. How can the modification of a culture that associates the mere talk of penis and vagina as violence against women as something to be dismissed as crazy, violent, or in the best of circumstances something to be tolerated as a personal choice that is different than yours, bring about the liberation of women from men? It can't. Well, I'm glad that you brought up crazy and violent so I didn't have to, and the fact that it's tolerated should tell you something about the society we live in. It's a good thing to be tolerant, however, that doesn't mean that people will open their hearts to your stupidity. And seeing as how your definition of women's liberation from men is that no woman should ever have any contact with any man, well, that would inexorably lead to the extinction of the human race, so what's the point? Reformism cannot have a place in the demise of penis and vagina as sex, and thereby the liberation of women and girls from the domination by men. The demise of penetrative sex? What the fuck? Why are you trying to eradicate the human race? I realize that there is absolutely no chance of you understanding this, but there are actually females out there who enjoy sex. Well, goody goody that there are feminists out there who can tell those women how they should feel. Reformism is crazy making for women. It is gaslighting and simple denial of the vast powers at play in the patriarchal, political, social matrix of men's domination. To say that not all men benefit from the worldwide epidemic of sex and violence against women and girls, or that it's your choice to be sexual with good men, is not being honest. For fuck's sakes, you guys, so a woman doesn't have agency or self-determination enough to express her own opinion? If someone disagrees with you, they're dishonest? Well, fuck you and the rad femme horse you rode in on.